Hello, it's Ferdinands here, and thank you for watching the inaugural TopStocks monthly update. Firstly, I'd like to thank you again, those members that have sent me messages of support, welcome messages since I've been in the chair. It's been wonderful. Thank you very much. For those of you that still don't know me, my background, I helped co-found TopStocks back in 2005 with John. A lot of you do know John, you've conversed with him in the past. John does say hello, he's doing very well, and he wishes you all the best. I'd been a non-active shareholder until February this year when I did buy a controlling share in TopStocks, and I took over the managing director role from John. So let's talk about TopStocks just for a moment before I give you an update. What is it that we're actually trying to achieve? What's my mission statement? Look, very simply, it's become the most popular and respected Australian stock exchange and Australian investment forum. How do we do this? There's a few thoughts on that matter. From my point of view, it's about our moderation style, which you'll find, hopefully you'll find, is one more of education rather than penalties. It's our content, what we allow on the site, what we don't allow on the site. It's our affiliations, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. It's our features. Very simply, TopStocks has some unique features there, like the ability for our members to do text-based searches on ASX price-sensitive and market-sensitive announcements. We also have the trading diary. I know many members have 2 TopStocks accounts purely to look at and to use the trading diary. We also offer the highest competition prizes in the industry, and more on that a little bit later as well. I talked about our uniqueness, and the other thing we're looking at is our community spirit. There's a certain community spirit that we encapsulate at the site. Those 4 or 5 things together will certainly make us the most popular and well-respected site. Some of you email me very often and tell me that we're there already. We are the most popular, and we are the most respected. Thank you for those comments. I certainly do appreciate them. As the MD, I'm never going to be satisfied on how popular we are and how respected we are. I'm always going to be working to improve those 2 things. So, from a monthly update point of view, there's a lot I can talk about. I'm going to talk about the economy, I'm going to talk about the site, I'm going to talk a little bit about politics, I'm going to talk about our changes, and then I'm going to encourage you at the end of this update to send me your thoughts on what you would like to see in the future, what you don't want to see, and what you would like to see that I don't cover. So let's start by talking about the political situation in Australia for the last 30 days. There's been a lot of activity, as you know. We've seen a Labor government resolve its leadership confusion, resulting in a new cabinet, and particularly a new foreign minister and federal Labor heavyweight in the form of Bob Carr. We've seen very recently the mining tax passed. The mining tax is a tax on mining profits on coal and iron ore, 30%. And it's estimated that roughly 30 companies will have to pay this tax. It's those companies that have over $75 million in annual profit. It's also expected to raise around $10.6 billion in revenue over the next 3 years. And that $10.6 billion of revenue is already accounted for from a Labor government point of view. It's going to be accounted for in 3 main areas. Corporate tax cuts. So the tax rate for businesses will reduce by 1% in the next financial year for small businesses. And then for larger businesses, it'll reduce in the 2013-14 financial year. There are also tax breaks for small businesses. From July 1, small businesses will be able to instantly write off assets that they buy worth up to $6,500. And the $10.6 billion has also been earmarked for the superannuation reform. You would have heard recently that the Labor government will increase superannuation from 9% to 12%. It will take some time. It's not due to get to 12% until July 1, 2019. But it is expected to benefit around 8.4 million workers. What about the economy? What's the economy been doing for the last 30 days? The economy, it's been funny. There are a lot of indicators that suggest the economy is certainly rebounded and is on the way up, and then there are indicators that suggest we've still got some downside or some negativity to go. Let me share some of those indicators with you so that you can make your own opinion on it. Unemployment up 0.1 to 5.2%. You've got the interest rates. The benchmark index rate stayed flat at 4.2%, or 4.25, sorry. But at the same time, you've got the banks raising interest rates by up to 0.1%. Most of them did that following the lead from the ANZ. You've got consumer confidence. Now this is interesting. Consumer confidence is up 1.8 points from 2.4% to 4.2%. And then you've got inflation. Inflation's been down on the previous quarter. Inflation is measured quarter to quarter. 3.5% down to 3.1%. There are a lot of indicators there that are hard to to put into a package and to work out what the economy is going to do. We've had some positive news from Greece. Now I don't think the Australian market hasn't seen the positives come into our own market as a result of what's happening in Greece. I think that's still to come. Let's talk about the market. A lot of you are experts on the market, I know that, but let me just share some of the key indicators around. The All Ordinaries. Now the All Ordinaries has had an ordinary month. 1.4% in the last 30 days increase, which we should be grateful for, but you're looking at 8.2% down for the last 12 months. When you compare that to the Dow Jones, you're looking at a similar increase over the last 30 days, about 1.6%, but you're looking at an annual increase or a 12-month increase of 9.4%. So the Dow has certainly recovered far greater than, and when I say greater, it's recovered, whereas the Australian market has gone down in that 12-month time. Let's look at the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar has been fluctuating between $1 and $1.08 over the last few months. Over the last 24 hours it has dived a little bit. We're looking at around a 1.4% decline month to month on the dollar against the US, and about a 1.9% decline against the euro in that time. At the same time, we've seen gold and silver also down. Gold down about 4.6% for the last 30 days, and silver slightly less at 3.9%. So, the market certainly has a lot more to recover. Let's look at member activity. TopStocks is all about our members. We have, around 50,000 members, and not all of those members are as active as some on the site. But what I'd like to do is acknowledge some members that are very active on the site, and if not for these members, certainly the quality of the posts and the quantity of the posts would be somewhat less. You've got Sandjune, 13,000 posts in total. Handbrake Harry, 12,000 posts. Hellraiser, 11,500 posts. Hellraiser, as you know, has also been named our resident comedian, so well done on that accolade. The Word, 7,000 points. Saddlebrook, Matros, about 6,000 each. Moneypenny, just under 6,000. And Jonas, just under 6,000 as well. A great appreciation goes out to those members. Those members have steered and made TopStocks what it is today. Let's look at what TopStocks has been talking about. I feel like the members, what they've been talking about on TopStocks for the last 30 days. I call it community activity, and you can see this, of course, on the site. You've got Mount Burgess Mining, you've got Central Petroleum Limited, CTP. Now, interestingly, CTP is part of the April competition. So for those of you that have qualified, and we talk a little bit more about that in a moment, for those of you that have qualified for the April competition, CTP is one of the speckies in there. Tangiers Petroleum, I think, is the other one. So it's good to see that CTP has had a large following on the site. Certainly the qualifiers can benefit from that as they're about to pick their stocks in the next 7 days for the April competition. BHP, Bounty Oil and Gas, and GoConnect also make up a large majority of the activity. Now, GoConnect, or GCN, nearly every member of TopStocks is familiar with, only because the amount of moderating that our moderator needs to do in the GCN forum is certainly way more than I'm comfortable with. Now, there's a lot of education, is probably the best way to describe it, that's happening in the GCN forum. I think there's more education that's needed. There are certainly penalties in the GCN forum. I think 3 members have been suspended recently as a result of their posts in the GCN forum. I do sincerely ask GCN posters please to take more care, pride and respect to other members in their posts.